we're here with Michael George, who's running for Seattle City Council, District 7. Would you like to go ahead with your 2-minute introduction?
I would love to. Thank you very much, and thank you all for having me. I am raising 2 children downtown. I love this city, but I'm a little concerned with the direction that our city is going. Every time I walk out my door, it's very apparent to me that there are a number of issues that we're just not doing justice to. The first one is really our approach to that affordable housing crisis. This is something I have spent my career working on, and our response to it is wholly inadequate. We need to really step up and make sure that this place is open to people that make below 6-figure incomes. Another thing that I've spent a lot of my career on, and something that's very important to this particular district, is transportation. We have many of the largest transportation projects coming through this district soon. We absolutely have to get these transportation projects right. These are 100-year decisions. They are going to be what opens all of the amazing opportunity that downtown, the rest of this district offers to the outside world. It's going to keep our economy going, and it's going to provide living wage jobs, but we need to get it right. It's not just about, we have downtown in our district, it's not just about our district. Part of the reason we need to get downtown right is because it provides the tax base to support all of the great progressive services that we depend on. So I'd like to bring my expertise to council. I think it's good to have 1 or 2 people on council that really understand these issues from the ground up, not just funding, not just policy, but also how these things are structured. So I'm running because we need change, and I am a candidate of change. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And now we'll move on to our pre-prepared questions. You can flip over that sheet if you'd like, starting with Jeff.
If elected, what policies will you support to address the need for affordable housing and homeless services?
Wow, that's a big question, a great question. There are a number of things that I would support. I do support the new state legislation that allows us to discount land for affordable housing. I think that's going to be a critical tool in making sure that we have room to put our affordable housing projects in this city and other cities. I also think we need to get serious about how we can house more people with the money that we have. And sometimes, and this might be a little controversial, sometimes I do think there are certain populations that they just need a bedroom, a place to get off the street, a TV, and we can have shared bathrooms, shared kitchens, things like that. The reason I think that's important is because for every dollar that we spend producing expensive units, that's a dollar that we're not spending on providing more housing and getting more people off the streets. I do support a state income tax. I think we need to get, and I know this is not a city council issue, but I do think we need to get serious about having a more progressive revenue source that isn't so dependent on the ups and downs of the economy in order to keep producing more affordable housing over time. I was glad to see the Housing Trust Fund is going to be built. But I also think we need to work with the private sector to make sure that we are using all the tools and all the people necessary to really take this on. We can't take our foot off the gas. We need to renew our housing levy, but we also need additional funding. So I would look to work with the private sector to bring in additional funding, particularly for middle income housing, which is often overlooked in this city. In terms of homeless services, I think we need more 24-hour shelters with wraparound services. That's absolutely critical. I think there's a need for it because until we do that, we're really not going to see any on-the-ground improvement. And I think that's what people, including the people on the street, really need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seattle has the most progressive tax code in the state with the most progressive tax code in the country. Given the review of the head tax and the ongoing litigation over the city income tax, how will you raise more progressive revenue to help fund city services?
Yeah, I think there are a number of things. I thought the progressive REIT tax was a good start. We need a state income tax. We just have to have it. I think as a city, we need to be pushing for a state income tax. I think that one of the ways we do that is to make it tax neutral. I think as we as a city push the state to enact an income tax, we need to reduce the sales tax in proportion so that it's more of a flip as opposed to raising taxes, because I think that's why a lot of other counties and other places are pushing back. So I would absolutely state income tax, reduce the sales tax, exempt all necessary items, tampons, everything else out of that sales tax, and make it tax neutral so that we can get other places around the state on board.
Thank you. Lori?
Given the city's reset of the Move Seattle levy, the upcoming expiration of the city's bus funding tax, and the planning for light rail for much of our district, what will your priorities be in deciding how the city spends its transportation funds?
That is a big, good question, and I think I would be wrong to answer that wholeheartedly without really knocking on more doors and hearing more input. There are a lot of large competing infrastructure projects in the city, and it's going to take somebody that really knows how to navigate, whether we're going to put in a tunnel, for example, under the ship canal, which is probably going to require an additional revenue source, versus basically going with the alternatives that were already selected and focusing on some of the other projects that people also want, that we haven't even started looking at revenue sources for. So in terms of prioritization, I think first and foremost, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can, and this is the point of transit, to connect people to opportunity. This district is where the opportunity is. We need to make sure not only that we connect people to opportunity, but we also need to make sure that we compete with the car. There are choices that people make, and I think until we have a robust transit system that reaches the people that need it in a way that's convenient, we're not going to really be able to effectively compete with the car. It's what I've spent my career on. I worked on every ST3 station area planning. I worked at a corridor level, I worked at a station area level, and I worked at a project level. And I worked on a lot of projects for Metro and other transit agencies around the state in the Northwest. And the other thing that I think we need to spend a lot more time on is how all of these different transportation systems connect. People hate transfers, it turns people off. We really need to start looking at some of these things more holistically so that people can get around without planning on transit and decide to get out of cars. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Sarah?
So this is a timely topic. How will you continue the process of reforming the Seattle Police Department beyond the expiration of the consent decree?
I was disappointed to read the paper today, as I'm sure a lot of you are. We have some work to do. I really on this. I'm sorry, I'm looking for exactly where the question is on here. Last one, sorry. Oh, we're really moving through. I think we need to really pay attention. We need to make sure that we have a data-driven approach that is absolutely making sure that we are not arresting people based on any bias whatsoever. That's going to, of course, include training. I do think body cameras are a good start, so that we can go back and make sure that people are police are held accountable for any decision they make that may be biased. In terms of the specifics, that's something that I'd want to work on with the police department itself, of course, in the city, as well as the council that is making sure that we do follow the Department of Justice recommendations. So I think there's a lot of work to do, and I look forward to working with all parties to make sure that we meet what we are obligated to meet, so that nobody feels that police are doing anything but serving them. And that's the point. People shouldn't feel afraid of police. People should look at a police officer and say, I feel safe, and I think there are a lot of communities that may not feel that way at this point.
Great, thank you. And now we'll open it up to other questions, follow-up questions. And the responses to these questions are 1 minute each. Starting with Alice.
What is your perspective on kind of single-family zoning and the way that we rethink our approach to that?
Yeah, I personally, I run a nonprofit, Parents for Better Downtown Seattle. Myself and everybody in the group, we live in multifamily buildings, so it's what I would feel. I think it's a great way to live your entire life. In terms of specifically single-family zoning, I think we need to make more room for people in neighborhoods, especially single-family neighborhoods. That's where a lot of the opportunity is. That's sparks a lot of times great schools, but we also need to do it in a way that doesn't displace a lot of those people that are already there, like seniors on fixed incomes. And I think there is something to be said for example, ADU legislation that allows somebody to make a little bit of extra money in their backyard in order to stay in their house. I do think, and I think this is reasonable, a lot of people in single-family neighborhoods feel that they've been left out of the conversation, and I think it's only practical to make sure we bring those people into the conversation and create policy that really gets housing built in those neighborhoods, but also make sure that we're hearing.
Thank you.
That's up.
Ben?
So I've got 3 questions, 2 really short ones and one is a bit longer.
Do I get?
They'll be really short. Okay. Can you tell me about how many homeless folks are living in King County?
Well, there's 12,000 in the last homeless, or 11,000 now in the last homeless count.
Of those, could you tell me about what percentage were living or working in King County before they became homeless?
So I participated in the last 2 homeless counts, and I get differing opinions on whether the data is really valid on there or not. I'm not an expert, so I don't have the answer to that. But I can't remember whether it's 25% or what the percent is that are from out of state or out of the county. But when I talk to fire and police and other people, they say that they don't trust that data, and I don't know what to believe. I think we need to do a deeper dive. But it doesn't really matter if they're homeless. We need to help them.
Thank you.
Lord?
Magnolia, of course, sits squarely in the center of your proposed district. You talked about transportation, and there's been a lot of proposals flying around for the Magnolia Bridge replacement. Do you have any thoughts on the proposals you've seen or what you'd like to see?
I am for one-for-one replacement of the Magnolia Bridge. That has to get done. I've worked on the Terminal 91 project as well as a lot of projects right around that area. We need to begin coordinating, and we need to begin figuring out how we're going to fund that replacement. The thing that I don't know, and I'm not sure if anyone does, is if the whole bridge needs to be replaced or not, or if it's the upper section, and you can potentially save some money by retrofitting that bottom section. So we need to really get serious about funding that bridge. I'm going to represent this district as a key transportation project in this district, and to represent the people, I need to stand up for that, and I believe it's the right thing to do. We'd have dire consequences if we don't replace that bridge in outlying neighborhoods. I do believe we want to start looking at developing Interbay, providing affordable housing, and I think that's part of the solution to not create the congestion to stop that from happening. Thank you.
So I know you've probably not done any polling on this, but what is the most unpopular opinion that you hold that you want to stay firm to when you are elected?
The most popular opinion? Unpopular opinion. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. I really do, I think the most unpopular opinion I have is, I can be convinced otherwise. I have spent a lot of time looking at this, and I'm not all in, but the Center City streetcar, and I can tell you there are a lot of people against the Center City streetcar. I do think we've spent a lot of money on the 2 other ends. We have $75 million at risk of federal funding. We need to get people through the city. So at this point, even though it seems pretty unpopular, I need to be convinced. I need someone to really convince me that that's not the best use of our money, because I stand by that project at this point.
Thank you. Clayton?
What specific ideas would you bring to police training that are directed towards humanizing the conduct of police in confrontations with minorities?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and honestly, I'm not an expert in that area, and I don't want to pretend to be an expert on areas that I'm not. I'm an expert on housing, transportation, education. There's a lot of things that I know a lot about, and I think one of the things that City Council has done that I don't agree with is they're making uninformed choices in a lot of cases, and honestly, if I were on City Council, I'd really need some experts to weigh in on that. I'm not willing to step throw stuff out there that I don't know about. So I can't honestly answer that without just guessing.
Sarah?
Are you in favor of impact fees on new developments?
I'm in favor of looking at a holistic approach. I really believe we need to produce more housing, and I think there is a lot of taxes that haven't really been well thought out that are placed on housing. And as part of a holistic approach to looking at how housing is taxed and how that impacts the production of housing, particularly middle-income housing, I would be open to bringing that into the conversation. Yes.
I read an article right around the time that you first announced, and there's just something that stuck in my mind that I've always been curious about. It had to do with your, the question had to do with you keeping your job. And I was confused at the time about whether that was during the campaign or during the, do you want to elaborate?
I would, and I want to thank you so much. I get asked this all the time. I in no way plan to keep my job. It is a 60 to 70 hour a week job to be a council member. The question, as I had heard it, was, do you plan to keep your job while you're campaigning? And no, absolutely not, in no way, shape, or form had I ever thought that. Thank you. It's like one of the number one questions people ask me.
When you were speaking about reforming the police department, you mentioned you would work with this police department, with the city, with the council, but you didn't mention the communities most impacted.
And the people that, of course, I mean, the voice that matters most are the members of communities that have historically not had a voice and been most impacted. So thank you. I did miss that, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
How would you go speak to them, and how would you take their input?
So first of all, I think you need to go to those communities. I think any outreach that needs to be done needs to be culturally appropriate, and that might mean translators. There's a whole bunch of, I've been involved in other projects where we have gone into communities that will be impacted by light rail, for example, or other situations. And it really is incumbent upon the police department, whoever else, to really go in and understand the time of day that people are able to attend a forum. A lot of people can't, or are just distrust the system to the point where they're not even going to show up. So we need to proactively go out and reach out to people that are just so distrustful that they're never going to engage. I think there are a lot of things that we can do to make sure that the voices that historically have not been heard and the voices that are so frustrated from being ignored are brought into the conversation.
Thank you.
And Mark?
I want to kind of follow up on Alice's question. How has working full time impacted your campaign? And how will that in turn impact your policies?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about work, and I have a fairly flexible schedule at this point. For example, I took the week off this week, and I'm knocking on 1,000 doors. Not everybody has that opportunity, so it is an advantage. At the same time, I'm working constantly. I do my job now in the middle of the day between events, and then I am up, till midnight sometimes doing my actual work. I've got to bring an income in. I've got a family, and that's another thing. Part of it is raising. I just talked to somebody that was thinking about running for Senate someday. She was asking about what's it like to raise a family, a young family. That's another piece that gets overlooked. There are so many hurdles to running that I face, but it's nothing compared to someone that has a job, say at McDonald's, that doesn't have that flexibility. So yes, I'm working big hours, but I do have the flexibility to make it all work, and I'm lucky that way. So.
Thank you. Sherry?
What are your thoughts on safe consumption sites?
Yeah, I have looked at this in depth, and I believe that if somebody is going to use illicit drugs, especially if they're going to use a syringe, it's definitely safer for them to use it in a safe consumption site. There's no question the data proves it out. The data that I really like to see is how we can roll these things out in a way that doesn't negatively impact the neighborhoods that they're in. And I would really like to see, I know Denver, Philadelphia, a couple other cities are toying with the idea of safe consumption sites. And I for one, would like to see how be part of the conversation about what data to collect so that we can see how other cities do it and make sure that we can roll it out in a way that's digestible for the neighborhoods too.
Great, thanks. And one more, Matt.
following up on that, what data have you seen when these spaces have been rolled out that neighborhoods have been negatively impacted?
It seems like there's not good data either way. I have not seen any data. There's just an article in the Boston Globe about this, because they're also struggling with this. And they,
All right, can I clarify then? Are you starting from a place that they could negatively impact the neighborhoods based on what you're hearing here? Or because the data has been inconclusive, does that mean that people just haven't been reporting issues because there aren't any?
generally, the way I operate is I do feel like a lot of times Seattle likes to push stuff out and be the first at a whole bunch of different policies. I don't always think that's the same thing as being innovative. There are a lot of cases where I think it's really good to let other cities, figure out how to do stuff, show us that it can be done, and then with that information, we can really roll out smart policies. And it's not just safe consumption sites; it's a lot of things. So I'm not for or against safe consumption sites. I just think we really need to be smart about the things that we do. We have limited funding. There are methadone clinics that also need funding. So let's be smart about this. There are things we know that work, and I'm not against the possibility of safe.
Sorry. And we're ready for a 30-second wrap up.
Okay. Well, thank you all for having me. I really do believe that with people that really understand some of the critical issues that we're facing, that we can do a much better job and be way more effective, particularly on housing affordability and getting our transportation systems right. If those are issues that you really care about, that's something I've dedicated my career and my 501(c)(3) that my wife and I run, Parents for Better Downtown Seattle, so we can get the job done. Thank you.
Thank you.